Welcome to PAREVTV. Our guests are Karen Hakobyan. He is the founder and artistic director and principal conductor of Pegasus Orchestra. And also joining us today is young virtuoso pianist Kiron Tellian. And our topic is the March 20th concert at St. Vartan Cathedral, entitled Armenian Voices and American Rhapsody. Karen, let me start with you. I thank both of you for joining us today. Karen, you founded Pegasus in 2017, and it is a relatively young ensemble. What inspired you to create this orchestra, and what is your vision that drives Pegasus today?
Well, it's so wonderful to be here with you, Vartan. It brings back so many great memories since it's been a while since our last interview. Pegasus is now in its ninth year, and next year is a big milestone for us. It's our 10th anniversary season. So it's been quite a remarkable journey, and I'm just been so grateful because so many of our musicians, that they are really fantastic chamber musicians, soloists, and so Pegasus is really, in a way, a chamber collective where we think and feel as one
Mm.
organism. But then when we come together with a larger ensemble, like we go all the way up to 50 players, for the larger concerts, we still function with that same familiarity, with the same synergy and an exchange, artistic exchange, like we would in a chamber music environment. And that's been one of the main driving forces for Pegasus, is to be able to also adapt to new spaces, like the concert that we'll talk about, like on March 20th at St. Vartan Cathedral, is a testament of that, where in a way, what I like to say, we bring the symphony hall to people by doing these interesting arrangements. For instance, the one that we'll hear on the 20th for 18 instruments, and being able to adapt and curate programming for each community and each space and each program that we envision in the future. So it's been really like a flexible ensemble where we go anywhere from duos all the way to a full symphony orchestra.
Karen, the community has heard about the concert. We are all excited. It's a major undertaking, and it's a Pegasus debut at St. Vartan Cathedral. What makes this venue special for you, or does it make it special for you?
Oh, it's very special for me because, as you know, we've done concerts at Lincoln Center and all the other traditional concert venues, so to speak. But this represents to me like going back to my Armenian roots.
Mhm.
So this debut is very, very symbolic and important for me as an Armenian who has spent most of his life, in America. And so I feel like this is like almost like homecoming to me in a way. It's just a deeper way to connect to my roots, to the community, and of course the members of the community have been coming to our concerts regularly. But this has a completely different meaning to me altogether, and I'm very, very excited about it.
Can you comment about maybe give us some highlights of the concert, and maybe give us the secret as to how will people feel when they leave the concert?
Well, the centerpiece of the concert is the Rhapsody in Blue, because this arrangement that I have done is for 18 instruments, and I actually have exclusive rights from the Gershwin Foundation to have done this, so it's become a staple of our programming. But as we were planning this concert, I thought, what else can we do with this? Because it's very unusual orchestration to have 18 instruments. It's not your standard orchestra size. So I had to basically single-handedly arrange and craft all of the other works on the program. So, for instance, we will have Tchaikovsky gold medalist Sergei Antonov, Grammy-nominated cellist, who's fantastic musician that I work with frequently, as a soloist, playing my newly arranged Saint-Saëns Concerto #1. So this will be, in a way, a premiere, even though it's a well-known concerto and people know it, but it will be heard in a completely new orchestration. And on the same program, we'll have, of course, the Rachmaninoff's vocalists. Again, I've reorchestrated this for this concert, as well as Haydn's Symphony Number 59 called "The Fire." But also, we will have some surprise encores. Uh, going back to our roots, so to speak. That's all I'm going to say. And also my own arrangement of Komitas's free Armenian songs,
Mhm.
which I will play and conduct from the piano with our Pegasus players. And of course, Kiron will, I'm sure, talk about his portion. He's going to play something very beautiful and meaningful to open the program.
One more question to you, Karen, before we go to Kiron. You mentioned Rhapsody in Blue. This is going to be a very special music. George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue is 102 years old, I believe. And
Yeah, it's
there is a
recent.
recording out there that was recorded in England, I believe, in 1976. And in that performance, in that recording, we see Leonard Bernstein play on the piano and conduct. And I think that is going to happen in New York at St. Barton Cathedral. Can you elaborate?
Yes, well, of course, Maestro Bernstein has always been an inspiration of mine. And one of the reasons why we can do what we do with Pegasus is because, I'm also a pianist, harpsichordist, composer, arranger. So
Mm.
often, for some of our programs, like let's say when we do Bach Brandenburg concertos or Vivaldi Four Seasons, I'll play and conduct from the harpsichord. Certain programs I'll play and conduct from the piano. Sometimes in this program, you'll also see me just conduct in the first half as well. But again, because I have this synergy and this connection with our players, it makes it extra special when I get to play and conduct. And of course, Maestro Bernstein is always sort of in my mind, when I do that. It's a very special experience to do that.
That's, I wish you all the luck. It must be kind of challenging to go through that. And I look forward to seeing that. And again, we wish you all the best on that program. Keenan, that's the first time we meet, and it's really honestly a great pleasure for me
Yes.
to meet you. We read a lot about you. We read about your talent. We read that you have performed in renowned artists worldwide. I believe you have also a performance at the Trump Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. later this month. And now you're
Yes, and
staying with Sergei Babayan at the Juilliard School. You'll be playing music by Gomidas. How do you feel about the whole program? What can you tell us about the program and yourself?
well, first of all, I think from the first moment that I met Karen, I was immediately struck by how creative and how insightful he makes music. It's so impressive to see what can be done with unusual orchestrations and unusual ensembles, and I find it so admirable because that's exactly what I think music should be about: being alive and being constantly changing, while at the same time remaining completely loyal and committed to the great masters, right? That we have. So first of all, it's a great pleasure to get to collaborate in this context, and fitting to the program that Karen already laid out. I'm very excited to open the concert with very special pieces for me personally. I will play some of Komitas's dances for piano, and these pieces, as you can imagine, I play all kinds of music in recitals, and I play with orchestras, and yet there's something very special about just this music. I am Armenian. I grew up in Austria, in Vienna, and yet every time I play these pieces, something very special happens. So I'm very excited to be a part of the program with this music.
Kiran, is there any composer, any musician that has influenced you? Anybody that has really give you direction?
Well, that's a very hard question to answer. Um, you know, I think especially as a pianist, we're blessed with this nearly unending literature, of the greatest music. And for me to answer the who would be my favorite composer, the most important composer, I think it would be impossible for me. It always changes. Yet, of course, there's some composers which are for me foundational. For instance, Bach, which I just simply could not live without. And on the other hand, this season I have my recital program includes a lot of Scriabin, especially unknown pieces of Scriabin, which are not performed that often, which I think are very special. So I it would be hard for me to give you one single composer. You learn, I think, with everyone, with every piece, and it's a lifelong journey of exploring this great music.
What can you tell us about your studying with Sergei Babayan?
Yes, I after growing up in Vienna and studying in Vienna, I started at the University for Music and Performing Arts in Vienna when I was 8 years old. I studied there until I was, I think, 19. And then I went to New York to study at the Juilliard School with Sergei. And I've studied with him for 3 years. This is my last year, the fourth year. I'm now studying with Emmanuel Ax. So I always describe it as I'm the most privileged student ever to have existed, because I have just the most incredible musicians that I just get to learn from and get to soak up all their inspiration and incredible gifts. So I've learned, I mean, indescribable things from Sergei, and I will always be forever grateful. His musicianship and his just expression is I mean unparalleled in so many ways. So it's been a huge privilege for me.
Karen, you must be a good fisher of men. I don't know where you find these people and these talented artists, but I'm sure you're very proud of each and every one of them. Let's go back to the program. What is your message to the people watching this video? What would you like to convey to the listeners, to the members of the community?
Well, first, I really like to thank the cultural committee of the Saint Vartan for making this possible, and also in this case I actually don't take any credit. I got to meet Kiron thanks to Vicky Hovanesyan and the cultural committee, and it was an amazing discovery for me. So because now we know each other and we'll get to collaborate, and hopefully there'll be much larger collaborations to come in the future. So I'm always so excited when because we have so many talented Armenians worldwide, but when they are physically in New York, especially, and that makes it even more exciting for me. In terms of the program, yeah, I mean it's so meaningful because the first half, like Kiron said, he'll open with Komitas. And then second half we'll do the also Komitas Armenian dances. So there's this sort of link that brings it all together. But at the same time, this program is in a way focused a little bit on my journey as an Armenian in America and what I've gone through and the transformation I went through, which prompted me to create Pegasus. So in a way, I'm sort of trying to, with this program, to give a taste of what my journey has been like. And later in May, on May 15th, we'll have our season finale, which is actually celebrating all only Armenian music, and it's called New Voices: Journey of Armenian Music. And I hope we'll have another opportunity to speak about that. But this program is a bit different because it's, like I said, it's more of to give a sense of the journey of my personal, and also how Pegasus has evolved. So it gives like a complete taste of what we are able to do, from classical period to arrangements to contemporary. So we are very excited to share this, with the Armenian community. I feel like it's going to be one of our most meaningful concerts up to date.
Kiran, and maybe Karen later on will wrap it up. What is your advice to young musicians who are taking their first steps? You started when you were 8. What is it that you would like to advise them who want to get one day on the world stage? What does it take?
I th- I think that's a great question. I think one thing that is very clear, I think, and it has to be made very clear, is that being a professional musician, whichever instrument or conductor or composer, is very hard work. It requires a lot of discipline and endurance and lifelong dedication, full dedication towards this incredible art. And this is something that is exhausting and all-consuming. Yet at the same time, the thing that you spend your life with, which is music, is so wonderful and is so incredible that it's really a gift. I really do feel it's a gift that you get to spend your life with this. And I think many of my colleagues and younger colleagues, I think what I see sometimes is you get so overwhelmed by all the stressors and the pressures and of this career that you really start to lose and get out of touch with the joy and passion and love that is the foundation for being a musician. And I think that is the most important thing to remember, and to remember that that cannot not ever be changed or touched by whatever happens outside, whatever happens in a career or anything. So as long as you keep that, I think you will always find fulfillment and joy throughout your life.
Kiron, you're a philosopher, and I really appreciate your answer. Honestly, Karen, when Kiron says lifelong dedication, I'm sure you definitely understand and agree with him. What is it you would like to tell younger members of the community interested in music?
You know what, Kiron actually summed it up beautifully, because I feel like once the students go through that phase and they start to look for opportunities and so-called career, they have to sort of have the mindset where it's not a job. It's not, because it really isn't, because even if one has a successful career in music, like Kiron said, it's something that is consumes you in the most positive way, that it's always with you. And as long as one doesn't sort of judge their career success based on how many engagements they have, and because there's always ups and downs. When you read the biographies even of the greatest musicians or artists or composers, we only see all the success listed there, where we don't see all the challenges and the difficult periods that they have gone through. And that's what defines one's character, right? Is there is actually a good thing sometimes to feel the pain and suffering that comes with being an artist, a musician. Sometimes that helps you define your character and pushes your boundaries. That being said, also from a practical standpoint, I do always wish the younger students or performers to explore a little bit outside of just the narrow expertise of music, because of course it's our craft. We have to hone it constantly, improve it, but explore books, literature, art, live life and have a little bit larger perspective, because more you have to offer as a human being, more of that is going to transfer to your development, one's development as a musician and artist. So I think that's actually one of my main advice. When I do master classes, I often ask the students what else they like, what are their other interests, because it can't just be 10 hours of practicing in a practice room. There is a period that one has to go through, but there has to be a little more to it than that as well. So that's my personal advice.
Kiron, you're agreeing with everything Garin is saying. Garin agrees with whatever you said. Is there anything we left out and you would like to wrap it up? What is your final comment?
For me, it's a huge pleasure to be a part of this wonderful concert, this wonderful program. It's very personally important for me, since I get to play komitas, I get to play Armenian music, and I am Armenian, so that is very special for me. I get to play in this wonderful, beautiful church, cathedral, and be a part of such a community that Karen has really created with the Pegasus Orchestra, which is very inspiring and energizing. It's very vibrant, current. Music is alive here. So for me, it's just a huge joy. I cannot wait for the concert. It's an incredible program. Cannot wait to hear the arrangements that Karen has made with so much work and thought that has went into it, and cannot wait to play some dances of komitas.
Beautiful. Karen, can you wrap it up?
Of course. Well, I mean, and for me too, to have Kiron open the program with the komitas, dances, that's just such a perfect opener, and I cannot wait to hear it. And also for me, this, like I said, this is the important step because when I was creating Pegasus, of course, we have a broader vision, and we feature rising artists, our own principles. We do innovative programming, call for works, new composers, and all of this. But also for me personally, every chance I get, I try to program an unknown work by an Armenian composer, and I feel like having the firmer and more involved support of the Armenian community will enable us and Pegasus to keep on growing and being able to be an ambassador of Armenian music also in the New York and in the United States, in the North American kind of classical scene, because there's so many works by Babajanyan and some of our well-known composers that I've done a lot of research have never even been played in New York. So for instance, in May we'll have some premieres that have never been done, and so that's my hope, is that this concert marks a beautiful, new, meaningful beginning to deeply connect with the community, which is starting to grow, and it's being cultivated by this event, and which will result in more meaningful and even more grand collaborations and concerts to come.
Kiron and Carmen, besides
Beautiful.
thanking you, I know we have to wrap it up somehow, and I said let's wrap it up. But Karen, behind you, there's this beautiful picture, and I know there is a story behind it. Tell us, when are you going to perform there?
Well, yes. So the following night, on March 21st, we will be bringing this same program to Dorothy Young Arts Performing Center in Madison, New Jersey, which is the venue behind me. It's actually a hidden gem. I didn't even know this venue existed until this concert. And we are working with Farah Youth Foundation, which provides care for children for their nonprofit, and they've invited us to present this program. So we'll get to do this 2 nights in a row, first in St. Vartan and second in New Jersey, and we're just very honored and excited.
Is it the exact program with Kiron also in the program?
This program is a little bit different because they also wanted to involve a choir.
I see.
But I'm sure Kiron and I will get to collaborate many, many
Yeah,
times in the future.
Karen Hakobyan and Kiron Tellian, it's been really a pleasure, really, really a pleasure. I can just understand after the Olympics where people were chasing the gold medal, were dedicated life to sports. You people deserve gold medals, and I know you already know that you have that gold medal from the community. Thank you very much.
very kind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.